Faithful Dog, you know I'm a very good girl. I always do what my mommy says. Well, almost always.
Yes, Constance, and?
Well, but some kids at school are wearing t-shirts that say, "Question authority," and that's really, really bad, right?
It depends. In fact, Jesus spent a considerable part of his time questioning the religious leaders of his day. Remember?
Oh, right. I never thought of it that way. Those old Pharisees and Sadducees.
Yes, some religious leaders would ostentatiously follow the letter of Jewish law, but then ignore the real principles underlying the law, and Jesus didn't hesitate to call them on it.
Like what?
Read Matthew chapter 23, verses 23 and 24 for me, Constance.
"Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone."
Jesus is talking about the Jewish practice of tithing, giving 10% of everything they have to God. These so-called religious folk would even tithe the herbs in their garden, but they were living their lives as
jerks, looks like. So it would have been a good thing to question their authority.
But often what people who wear those t-shirts mean by it is, do the opposite of what people in authority tell you to do. They don't want to take the trouble to think about whether something is actually true. They just react instead of thinking things through.
Like all these YouTube atheists.
Certainly some, but there are also some religious folk who are just as guilty on this one.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, there are Christians who just blandly accept whatever the preacher or priest says, or whatever seems to vaguely sound right, without researching or thinking on their own or reading the Bible. And do you know what God says about those kind of lukewarm Christians?
Yes, but say it anyway.
Revelations chapter 3, verses 15 and 16. "I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth."
It's cool, because it means when Christians are just lukewarm, God just wants to throw up.
A life worth living is a life spent searching for the real truth and making the hard choices required by the real truth.
Amen.